Right now at noon, tens of thousands of acres in Oklahoma and Kansas burn under dry conditions and high winds. We'll have the latest.
We have red flag warnings across the region this afternoon. We'll be talking about these red flag warnings, the dry conditions, and the cold air on the way coming up.
Plus, some Joplin High School students design a high-tech way to help the homeless population.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
2 tractor trailers collide on I-44, causing one of them to catch fire. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Samantha Walker. The crash happened last night near Springfield. Missouri State Highway Patrol relayed that there were injuries, but the driver was out of the burning semi. A driver was trapped in the second semi, but was alert and talking. MoDOT emergency alerts state the interstate was closed last night on eastbound, causing traffic to be backed up for miles. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, again, we have some red flag warnings out there across the region. We're going to start with downtown Pittsburgh, where the skies are clear, but you can see the camera shaking from those gusty winds. Heading over to the MoDOT camera at 32nd and Range Line, and traffic's moving, things are moving, and traffic lights themselves moving a bit with these breezes. Here's a look at those red flag warnings, virtually the entire area. These all run through 8 o'clock tonight. And there was something that just came down a few minutes ago. I want to take a second to show you something I have not personally seen, especially in our regions. This is into the panhandle of Oklahoma. This is a fire warning for a fire that is spreading rapidly to the south. Now, for a thunderstorm, this isn't fast, but these flames are moving southeast at about 5 to 8 miles an hour. And so they are heavily concerned about this and the fact that this fire is large and spreading quickly. That's the type of hazardous situation that we are looking at when it comes to the fire weather in our area as well. Not to say we're going to see that here, and hopefully you folks at home are taking the right precautions to ensure there's no sparks, nothing that gets out that could start a fire in our area. Quick look at the numbers. Still not to record levels, but still well above average. 73 is where we made it yesterday. We're already 67 in Joplin, 65 in Pittsburgh. Backside of that low, here comes that cooler air. So we're at 62 in Yates Center. You're just right next to the edge of that. Out ahead of it, we do have some upper 60s. Some 70-degree readings out there as well. Temperatures, though, as those winds shift out of the northwest, will begin to drop progressively down to the upper 40s by 7, mid-30s by 11 o'clock tonight. We're going to talk more about our fire danger and the colder air this weekend here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. 3 Oklahoma firefighters were injured in a fire truck crash on Tuesday, responding to the massive wildfires in the northwest corner of the state. According to the Roston Volunteer Fire Department, thick smoke made it impossible to see the road, causing the fire truck to roll down the hill and catch fire. The department also stressed their need for donations, as some of their trucks are in need of critical repairs to stay fire ready. The 3 firemen are currently recovering, with 2 of them already out of surgery and the 3rd in stable condition. A number of fires have swept through tens of thousands of acres. Nearly a third of the residents in the northwestern Oklahoma town of Woodward were urged to evacuate, but authorities have since lifted that recommendation. Smoke in some areas have impacted visibility and traffic. Governor Kevin Stitt declared a state of emergency in Beaver, Texas, and Woodward counties due to wildfires. The scene is similar in parts of south central Kansas. Some residents who had evacuated their homes are now returning. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly issued a state of emergency on Monday, which is in effect through today. Smoke and ash from these fires have traveled as far as the Chicago area, where it mixed with rain to leave dust on vehicles. The 4 states faces a heightened fire risk as high winds and dry conditions create dangerous circumstances. Fire officials warn that blazes can start without intentional ignition, from car backfires or simply dragging trailer chains. While natural gas and propane grills remain safe for outdoor cooking, proper ash disposal becomes critical.
Even if it was 7 to 10 days ago, please take a few minutes to go out, make sure it's still out. The wind will stir those ashes, and we've had fires that have started 7 to 10 days after they've been thought to be out.
Fire officials say you should call your local fire station before starting a fire, and also check your local fire department's social pages to get more info on current burn bans. Well, Vernon County residents got a chance to learn more about the proposed Vernon County Hospital District at the Nevada Community Center. Members of the Nevada Regional Medical Center Board were on hand to provide information and answer questions about what having a countywide hospital district could do and what their tax dollars would go towards. Well, a group of area students take on an assignment designed to help in the battle against homelessness. As KOAM's Ty Parks reports, students enrolled in the Joplin High School's Jobs for America's Graduates, or JAG program, have tapped into the power of the internet to tackle the challenge.
Joplin JAG students are given a task from the National JAG office to do a community service project centered around homelessness. The students created a website for their peers who are experiencing homelessness. JAG student Spencer Rich tells KOM their first obstacle.
Whenever we were looking for resources and just places they can go, any way we can help, it was hard to find information. It was really scarce. We knew it was there, we just didn't know how to find it, and that's a big problem.
In order to create the website, the students met with leaders in the Joplin city government and other nonprofits. Another student, Serenity Ramsey,
first we had someone come from economic security, and she basically told us transportation places and different ways to come about putting this stuff together.
The website breaks down the different resources that are offered in Joplin and any information that people would need to bring with them to get those resources. One of the biggest obstacles student Kaora Gallen discovered was
transportation. Some people might not know that we have buses that you can take around town, or even there's a thing where you can call someone to drive you places.
None of this was done for a grade. Teacher Janet Parker Spain wants them to learn a deeper lesson.
Understand, is that helping? Doesn't mean that you're going to get something out of it. It just is something that is the goodness of your heart. And also doing something that you see a problem and trying to solve it is what you should do as a citizen anyways.
In Joplin, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Well, coming up, a member of the royal family is arrested in connection with an ongoing criminal investigation regarding Jeffrey Epstein. And later, we're making cracked peppercorn pork in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Well, British police have arrested the former Prince Andrew, King Charles's younger brother. Officers detained him on suspicion of misconduct in public office following the release of the latest Jeffrey Epstein files. Tina Cross is outside Buckingham Palace with the latest, including a statement from King Charles.
Police guarded the entrance to the royal estate in Norfolk, England, where officers arrested former Prince Andrew this morning.
To see those police cars arriving at the Sandringham estate is quite a moment. This is the King's brother.
Police say they detained the younger brother of King Charles on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It follows calls for an investigation into documents allegedly indicating Andrew shared confidential government information with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein during his decade as a British trade envoy.
There's been a feeling that police forces could no longer not look at this very seriously, and I think it has been moving in one direction.
Now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor after King Charles stripped him of his titles last year, he appeared in photographs on all fours over a female in the U.S. Justice Department's most recent release of Epstein files. He has always denied any wrongdoing in relation to the late disgraced financier.
I thought he'd go into hiding and get away with it. Yeah, so no, that's all I've got to say really. I'm pleased.
King Charles responded to the arrest, writing in part, "Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter." The King's press team confirms Buckingham Palace was not given advance notice of Thursday's arrest, which comes on Andrew's 66th birthday.
The lack of accountability that the privileged, the wealthy, royalty, aristocracy that they have enjoyed in the past, I think we can see is really receding.
Continuing his duties, the king appeared at the opening of Fashion Week, just hours after his brother's arrest. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Well, still to come on KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
It's amazing how something as small as a peppercorn has influenced the entire world. We'll tell you how, so stick around.
And we have the fire weather conditions in the area today. Colder temperatures into the weekend, the latest when we come back.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
KOAM News at Noon. on this Thursday. So we've got the windy conditions, we've got skies clearing out, but what I want to address now is our fire weather concerns. We're going to start with those red flag warnings that we have in effect for virtually the entire area, and these will continue through 8 o'clock. Our fire weather outlook also updated. You can see an expansion of the elevated fire risks and of the critical fire risk areas. This is again one of those things, a spark from anything, but from your welding, your car backfires, you flick a cigarette out your car window, you're towing something and there's a chain that sparks on the road. Any of that could trigger a fire, and then with the winds, that could end up causing it to spread quickly. Because take a look at this dry air. Our humidity levels expected through the evening are still, 10 to 15% in most cases. They do pick up a bit overnight, still not enough to make a difference, but it's a little higher relative humidity overnight. But as we go into our Friday, it drops back down. Now, the key difference between today and tomorrow is going to be the wind. The dry conditions will still leave things quite flammable, but with lighter winds, it might be a little easier for you to put that out a lot faster. Today is one of those days it'll get out of hand very quickly because of this low pressure system up there that's now just on the northern fringes of Kansas City. And what it's got is this tight pressure gradient, which is why all these wind arrows are so close together. Gusty winds, and they circle all the way around this thing because the flow or the wind direction around the low pressure is counterclockwise. So we're getting into the northwestern breezes just now into our far western counties. That's why on the temperature map earlier, just right through here, you saw that temperatures were beginning to drop a bit. Ahead of it, still with those gusty southwest winds. And I do want to emphasize that even as those winds transition, they're still gusty. Maybe not in that 30 to 40 mile an hour range, but still enough that could be problematic for any kind of fire situation. The low will continue to track off to the east-northeast, and it will still leave us with gusty northwest winds until late evening into early tomorrow, and that's when progressively we'll start to see the wind gusts dying down. And bear in mind, this is the gust tracker, not the wind tracker itself, and so we're talking gusts is what it's putting on here, up to 7. So again, the winds will ease up considerably tomorrow. That's some good news, but still, that doesn't change the fact that everything out there is still super dry and still super flammable, so you still want to be cautious. But today, tonight especially, all it takes is that one small spark, and that's it. We get one of these large fires. And we showed you, again, something I'd never even seen before, that fire warning in the panhandle of Oklahoma for a fire that's spreading out of control rapidly. As for the rest of today, again, those clear skies continue. We'll start going partly cloudy overnight tonight and into our Friday. Now, Friday, we're cooler. We're seasonably cool. We're partly cloudy, but I know we've talked about that wintry mix business, maybe flurries, a couple of little sprinkles, and I did want to show you that on the future track, because it starts in late on Friday into early Saturday. It's isolated wintry mix, flurries. It's really not much at all, and that's still the expectation. So that's why we're not overly concerned about it as we head into our Saturday. But again, some slick spots, if you see anything at all, would be possible on bridges and overpasses. So again, the rest of the day, most of us mid-60s. Some of you south and east, where that southwest breeze is still going, are making it into about that 70-degree range, and these northwest winds will still be gusty out there. They'll ease up again overnight tonight, about 5 to 10. But take a look at that low down in the upper 20s, and temperatures dropping below normal into the weekend and the start of next week. So it is going to feel almost bitterly cold in a way compared to where we have been. We've talked about, there's a warm 50 and a cool 50, and this is going to be one of those days where it's definitely going to be a cool 50. But we will warm up into next week. But again, just cannot stress enough the importance of fire safety today and tonight across the area.
It's so important to be careful and aware during this time. Well, thank you, Chris. Well, stick around. We're making cracked peppercorn pork in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, it's kind of amazing how you can get so much flavor from just a little cracked black pepper. And Howard's recipe for cracked peppercorn pork proves it. He shows us how to make it in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Peppercorns are so abundant today that it's hard to believe that at one time they were so valuable and exclusive that they were used in place of money, and that they were worth more than gold. Imagine if you got a peppercorn necklace on Valentine's Day instead of a gold one. Today, it's still known as the king of spices. In fact, the desire to find pepper in the New World spurred a lot of sea exploration during the 15th and 16th centuries. In our markets today, we can find peppercorn in 3 main varieties. Black ones for our pepper shakers, the white variety, which is simply a milder version of the black with the outer layer removed, and green peppercorns that are younger, fresher berries. And believe it or not, they all come from the same vine. Now, you might also come across pink pepper. However, this comes from a different plant and is much milder than traditional pepper. So, to salute the peppercorn, we decided to make this the star of our roasted pork tenderloin by adding a crust of black pepper to it. Once it's sliced and topped with our easy homemade raspberry sauce, the result is worth its weight in gold. You can discover how tasty it is for yourself by getting our recipe for cracked peppercorn pork online. It's your chance to savor the king of spices with your gang. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we're looking for a peppery way for you to say, "Ooh, it's so good."
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4 state market prices.
All right, again, red flag warnings for most of the area through 8. Please, again, the biggest thing we want to stress right now is how dry it is. 30, 40 mile an hour wind gusts here that the smallest spark could lead to a large fire. That's what we've seen happening out west. We do not want to see that happen here. Just be smart, be safe, be cautious. And remember, as these winds shift out of the northwest, temperatures will begin to gradually fall back, and we're into the 20s tonight, 50 tomorrow, below normal for the weekend and the start of the next work week. Temperatures warming back up across the area. And late tonight, these winds will finally give us a break. But for today, tonight, just be cautious out there.
Definitely something to keep in mind. Thanks, Chris. What do you have coming up for us tonight?
Lots coming up at 5. For starters, health experts say making exercise fun can help adults stick with it. Kid-adult classes, as they're called, are turning childhood games like hopscotch, tag, and wheelbarrow races into workouts. Yeah, it looks like a workout. The idea is to bring back the joy of play so moving your body feels less like a chore. Plus, community members in Parsons, Kansas asked questions and voiced concerns about a proposed nuclear project. And the science labs at McDonald County High School will soon be bubbling, fizzing, and glowing as students prepare for the school's first ever science fair and community science night. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Those all sound great, Dal. Thank you so much. That's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.